Today, we're going to be talking about 3 ways to turn your harvest into high-quality extracts. Hey, but before we do, today's video is brought to you by Real Growers Grow Dots, the easiest way to feed your high-value plants. You mix Grow Dots in once at the beginning of your grow, and they feed your plants all the way to harvest. You don't have to worry about nutrient burn or nutrient lockout. Grow Dots does all the hard work for you. Check them out over at realgrowers.com. And while you're there, use coupon code Scotty420 to get 20% off your first order. Now let's get back to the show. All right, High C, come on, man. You want to make some high-quality extracts, brother?
Okay, so personally, I'm a big fan of flower.
Sure.
And to start off the show, I wonder, why would anybody want to make extracts in the first place if they got a great harvest?
I love flower. I love those tops, though. Once you get down to, I call them the larf or the B and C nugs, down all in the stems and whatnot, down at the base of the plant, I really don't want to throw those in with my good stuff. So that's I'll call it larf sometimes, or they call them B and C buds. Yeah, I don't really want to smoke them. I want to smoke the premium stuff. So I'll take those and I'll use those for extract. They still have resin on them. They still have trichomes on them, but there's a bunch of plant material. The idea is to separate the resin from the plant material and then just do something with that resin.
Okay, so I've usually just thrown that stuff out. You're saying that I can not waste all of that excess stuff that I usually just throw out.
Yeah, I mean, when you trim, when I'm trimming leaves, there's frost on the leaves that I'm trimming. You know, in my trim pile, there's definitely some frost. Do I want to roll it up and smoke it? No.
Okay, before we even get into that.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can get all of the resin that's on my hands and scissors and do something with that?
Yeah, man. It's called Cheris. You just rub them together like that, and you get a little bit of hash and skin cells, man. Ooh. Google Cheris.
Yummy. Okay.
Yeah.
that is not tip number one. Tip number one is what's the most common everybody knows about? Hey, you can do this with your trimming and your excess beaster buds.
I saw pot brownies on Laverne and Shirley in 1981, man. So it's been around since then.
Cannabutter.
Cannabutter that you can put in cookies or brownies or whatever you want. But the idea is that's the reason you can fail a drug test after 3 months of smoking weed, because it's fat soluble, so it's stored in fat. So by using butter or coconut oil, some people will use, you're able to get the cannabinoids out of the plant material and suspend it in your butter or your oil.
Okay, I've made cannabutter before, and one thing that I don't like about it is it turns my butter green, and it has like a weird funky taste. What's going on there?
Chlorophyll, and that's what we're trying to grab. The chlorophyll's the green stuff. It's the stuff that it just gives it that nasty taste. That's why we're cutting the nitrogen out at the end, and that's why we dry and cure. We're trying to remove that or break down that chlorophyll because it has a nasty flavor. Well, if you're breaking all this leaf material up, you're exposing it. You're exposing the insides, and you're opening it up for chlorophyll. So, yeah, that's why you try not to really agitate this stuff too much. We're trying not to break the plant material into pieces, because then you expose that chlorophyll. What we're trying to do is gently just coax the trichomes off.
But when I just throw the plant material into butter, there's really no way to avoid that.
Yeah, not too much. Just low and slow. Keep that butter at a very low temperature, and try not to agitate too much with all this stuff. Try not to break the plant material up too much. That's the best you can do.
All right, this next one is new to me. I didn't even know about this until I started hanging out with you guys. Bubble bags? What's going on there?
Really? You haven't heard of bubble bags?
No, I'm low tech, I guess.
God love my wife. We went and took a ski trip maybe 6 months after I met her. We're actually visiting the dude in British Columbia, and I walked into a grocery store. It's like 2001, and saw bubble bags, and I was just like, Kristen, empty your wallet. I need every bit of money you have. I need to buy these, because it was such an interesting, I'd never seen anything like it. I'd been a huge grower and had 20, 30 lights come down at a time. All this larf and all this trim that had trichomes on it, what can you do with it? And make cannabutter? I don't think so. These bubble bags allow you to separate the trichomes from the plant material. Really cool. It uses cold temperature to freeze the trichomes off and break them off. And then it has different micron screens in the bottom of these bags. So some of them will catch whole trichomes only. Some of them will catch broken trichomes. Really interesting stuff. And yeah, I can show you a couple ways how to use these to make some hash.
Well, let's talk about the easiest way. You told me you can just get a bubble bag and dry ice.
I couldn't believe when I found this out. You can literally take a bubble bag, go to the grocery store, hit a hunk, get a hunk of dry ice, maybe $10 worth of dry ice, throw it in your bubble bag, and just put it over a mat or a newspaper or something, and you just shake it. You just shake it, and it the keef starts falling out. I call it keef for lack of a better word. I think that's the right terminology, but just starts falling out on the newspaper. You take a credit card and you scrape it up, and man, that's good stuff. If you take that and add a little bit of heat and pressure, roll it in your hand, that keef will become hash.
Okay. The next one that you were talking about, let's see here. This is a little bit more advanced. It uses the bubble bag.
Yeah.
And I saw you have a different style of this, but like using a washing machine.
Yeah, we're trying to get the trichomes cold so they break off the plant material. And then we're trying to collect them. So we can do it with the dry ice. It is a more, I'll say, violent way to do it. You're not going to get the quality you get out of these other ways of doing it, but it sure is easy and fun. It is fun to just go get $10 worth of dry ice and shake it and get yourself a bunch of keef to roll in the joints. But you can do it with water as well. So you can, instead of the dry ice, you're using regular ice, and you're suspending everything in water, and you're using water as your solvent.
Okay, so let's explain how this works. You were telling me you put your plant material in one of these bubble bags. You put it in the washer.
Yes.
The mesh on the bubble bag allows the... Explain.
It knocks the trichomes off. The ice knocks the trichomes off. Honestly, it's not a solvent. I misspoke there. It's just a physical agitation. It's just a carrier. So the ice is knocking the trichomes off of the plant material, and then the water is the carrier to carry it down through the washing machine so it doesn't all get all that keef and whatever doesn't get stuck in the washing machine. Then it comes out that drain hose, and then you put it through your bubble bag.
Okay, so it goes through a bigger mesh into the water, through the washing machine, out the hose, and then to a finer mesh.
Yes.
The water goes through and it traps all those trichomes on the top.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then you can just take it from there. But I've noticed here in the bakery, you've got a dry freezer?
A freeze dryer, yeah.
Okay.
My buddy got me to buy the freeze dryer, okay? But it's really, the freeze dryer is for, once you have it out of those bubble bags, you're going to see it's this beautiful blonde keef looking stuff. It will oxidize. If you leave it out to dry for 24 hours, it will oxidize. It becomes brown. Not a big deal. If you want to make that, or how they make that super light extracts, those super blonde extracts, they don't let them oxidize. So right when they come out of the bubble, bubble machine, it goes right into a freeze dryer. Okay. So it's able to dry without all that oxidation.
Keeps it looking that really pure blonde color.
Yep.
But I have seen it turn brown after a day or two out of the freeze dryer, but that's still okay. That doesn't ruin it or anything?
No, it's oxidation. I mean, I prefer when I go to the dispensaries to get the light blonde stuff, but I've had some super dark Temple Ball hash that has been absolutely amazing. So it's just what's trendy right now.
Okay, and then the next step, if you do the bubble hash thing and you've got your really good resin hash trichome stuff.
Yeah.
You have this thing over here called a rosin press. There's other types of presses. Explain this last step here.
It's just the last, you're putting it in a bag, when it's a super fine micron bag now. You're applying heat and pressure, and you're just trying to, I almost want to say, filter it one last time. Just clean it up one last time. And we're just always trying to get the purest of pure. So, yeah, using a rosin press and taking your either bubble hash, or if you just, you know, whatever, you're just doing it for fun, you can take a bud. You can take flour. Yeah, you can take flour and just fold it into a rosin bag and squeeze it. Most people do make it into bubble hash first and then squeeze it.
I see in the example that we're showing, it's not in a bag. It looks like it's just in like parchment paper or something.
Yeah, there should be a bag in there. Normally what you do is you'll have this really small rosin bag, maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches or so.
Is it also like a mesh bag?
Yeah, okay. Small mesh bag, and you'll fold it. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather just shake the dry ice. Thank you.
Okay.
So like I said, my favorite way, if I was going to recommend an easy way to get started, keyword is to get started there, but go get a couple bubble bags and go get yourself some dry ice and start having fun with it. You have some keef, you can roll it, you can press it if you want, but just start playing with that and take it from there. But what about you? Have you ever made extracts before? And if so, what's your favorite way to do it? And if not, which one of these sounds like the one you'd want to try? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please press that like button, smash that subscribe button, and check out the other couple videos YouTube's recommending. I hope you like them.